to the cloud.
There you go.
All right. Well, all right. Welcome to our first live video episode of Postmortem Radio. Joining us, we have from Horror Hounds. Shit. I guess I'm gonna have to edit that out because I fucked up already. As well, from the Horror Hound Film Festival, in addition to myself, we also have JK joining us tonight.
Yeah, and then you know what? Staff writer for the magazine too, because I don't want Nathan to think I'm not giving credit to the magazine.
Absolutely not. Actually, because you know when I was talking to the others about who was going to be joining us on the call, I said JK from Horror Hound, and I said he's a writer for the magazine. So I made sure to put it out there. So Nathan, if you're listening, which you probably aren't because you're too fucking busy, we're out there. We're always talking Horror Hound. So.
Exactly. Issue 91 coming around. How you doing, Uncle Jay?
Yeah, we got Uncle Jay, who is Jason Link, who's the founder of the Facebook page The Shape Lurks on Facebook. So you can find him there, and he likes to talk all things Halloween and Michael Myers. But obviously, we're a couple of days late, but the topic of tonight is obviously we're going to be talking about Halloween Kills. And I see Jay's already shaking his head. I can already tell you right now that Jay and I say Jay because I called Jason Jay too, so there's going to be some confusion here. So I'm going to have to say Jason, which is also, I know, a little bit of sacrilegious. We're talking about Michael, we're talking about Jason, but Jason and I are total Michael Myers nerd boys. I mean, I met Jason the first time in person out at age 40. We both did the whole filming locations and did all the all the stuff. So when a new Halloween movie comes out, our nerd boner is about as erect as it can be. That's just keeping it real. I'm perfectly fine with everybody knowing that. So Jay, I assume, is not as excited about Michael Myers and Halloween, but
well, I will say this. First of all, I have lived because I recently moved, but I lived most of my life up by Camp Noni Bosco, Camp Blood in Blairstown, New Jersey. So I was basically been around Friday the 13th a majority of my life, but Halloween for me is my favorite franchise. So
you are a fan.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of it. Yeah, I'm a huge just because I'm not a fan of what I saw on the screen recently doesn't mean I'm not a fan. I'm a huge fan of Halloween without a doubt.
Bum, bum, bum. Okay. All right. Well, hey, I gotta say, I was lucky enough to see this on Tuesday. I've seen it twice in the theater now. I saw it on Tuesday before it came out as an advanced screening for the film festival. And since apparently you were not impressed, Jay, I'm glad you didn't get to go. I'm glad you didn't get to go and ruin it for me. But I did get to see it Tuesday. And I'd already had my tickets purchased for Thursday night. So saw it Tuesday night, saw it Thursday night. And what I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun ride. I thought it was brutal, like they said it was going to be. I went back recently and rewatched my interview with James Jude Courtney from Detroit, which was shortly after they wrapped filming it. Everything that what little he told me was, it was effing brutal. Definitely was right on there. But I will say it's definitely not a perfect film by any stretch of the imagination. But I still got to say I loved it. There's a few little things in there that were kind of head scratchers, that irked me a little bit. But overall, I got to say I loved it. I mean, I won't say anything because I wanted to say we'll love anything we can see Michael Myers on the screen. But now that immediately took me back to the late 80s and early 90s where that's not true. But I think David Gordon Green and company did a great job on this film. Now we'll start off there. What are your opening thoughts?
Go ahead, Jason.
Okay.
You first.
Well, we'll leave you last because you're going to ruin the party. That's what you're going to do.
No, I'm very objective. I'm an objective fan. Go ahead.
Well, like I said, it's not a perfect movie. I get that. However, to have Michael back after 3 years on the screen, we're Halloween nerds. We live for this. We have to go out to the theater on premiere night, or even if you're lucky enough to go there on Tuesdays, like Oz is all the time.
Not all the time.
It sounds like
Although, well, I do have to say, I do have to figure out a way to see Halloween Ends in an advanced screening, because I saw 2018 a week before it came out, because I had VIP out at age 40. So I got to see it a week before it came out. This I got to see 2 days before it came out. So we can't break the streak with Halloween Ends. And I mean, if that means send a tweet out to Jason Blum or freaking DGG, help me out.
DGG.
If Horror Hound can't help me out, we got to figure out a way.
Here's my initial response to the movie. Saw it in the theater, obviously, and I thought it blew my mind. Yeah, it was a brutal film. I got caught up in the mystique of the character and the flashback scenes and all that stuff. So I didn't get
Flashback was amazing. I thought
it was.
It couldn't have been done any better, I don't think.
I didn't get a chance to fully dissect the movie. So since then, I've seen it at home probably 4 or 5 more times. And
like me on Peacock.
Yeah. So my thoughts on the movie is this. 2018 was written better. Okay, they had a better storyline. The dialogue was a lot better.
Agreed with that.
Halloween
I second
Kills,
that.
to me, was just the more fun movie to see.
It was the thrill ride.
Yes, if I had to sit down and pick which movie I wanted to watch, it would be Halloween Kills. But as far as that goes, after watching it several more times, there are a few things that I do not like about it. But we'll let Jay talk about it, and then we'll get
into specifics. Yeah.
You guys look like I'm about to shit all over your movie. That's what you look like right now. That's what you look like. And I'm the
only one who dressed for the occasion.
I'm repping Horror Hound Film Festival. So
okay.
Now, but let's it's funny because first of all, Jeremy, I'm going to address your question on where you're probably going to be able to see Halloween Ends before it comes out. You're probably going to see it either at Fantastic Fest in Austin, or you're going to see it at TIFF in Toronto. One of the two. Because when they brought it out in 2018, I had the chance to sit in the theater with Ryan Turek, Jason Blum, Jamie Lee Curtis, the whole slew of them, everyone there at Fantastic Fest. So I got a chance to see it before it hit theaters. I had a chance. Hey, you know what? I'm a fan as well, but also it was right place, right time. I had a chance to sit on the red carpet and talk with Danny McBride and talk with Jamie Lee Curtis and Jason Blum all about Halloween. And I'll tell you something. One of the things that really bothered me about those conversations was that when I brought up to Jamie Lee Curtis about if Horror Hound was when she came to Horror Hound and Nathan and Sean brought her in, Jeremy brought her in to do that signing for charity, if that was a starting point for it, and she completely denied it. I think it is for her when she saw the fans' love and reaction. Now, don't get me wrong, a paycheck is important, no doubt, but the fans' love and reaction I thought was so important for her to just blatantly say no, and I have it on recording, blatantly say no, really sucked. However, I have to agree with Jason first and foremost. I think that Halloween 2018 was a much better written script than Halloween Kills. I had issues with Halloween 2018 because I was looking for something that was closer to Halloween, closer to the original source material, which ended up Halloween Kills was closer to the source material, in my opinion, than Halloween 2018. Going back to the hospital, sitting there with the town, all that stuff. You could go on 15 different things. But with Halloween, I had a big issue with them popping in jokes about sandwiches. Really just, Danny McBride, I had a big issue with him being one of the writers on this. I am sure he's a great horror fan, but I felt that he was one of the weak links of what that story was. But then I saw Halloween Kills and I went, Halloween 2018, that's a masterpiece in writing. It really is. It really
now,
is.
Are you shitting on my banh mi sandwich scene?
Yes, I'm shitting on your. I sat there in the theater.
I love that scene. I love that scene. And maybe it's because I'm such a big Christopher Nelson fan. I don't know. But you know what?
I love Christopher Nelson.
I love the. Have you seen the extended? The whole.
No, I have. And maybe that's. And you know what? Maybe
it's even better.
Right.
I understand why they cut it down, but that whole scene was much longer and much funnier.
So then we blame the editor for that. We blame the editor for that. And I think whoever came back, was it the same editor for each for the same films? Do we know? Because I'll tell you something. He took a lesson from Michael Bay. He took a lesson from Michael Bay in Halloween Kills. All the slow pans and him walking out of the fire and stuff. Very cool stuff. Because Jason, I don't know about you, I love the cinematography of Halloween Kills. I thought it was beautifully shot.
It was very well
shot. Represented Michael Myers. The aspect of the lighting, I felt it was a nice marriage of the traditional Halloween films and more of the new polish of modern cinema. I really like that aspect a lot. But I'll tell you something. If it's the same editor, then it's no surprise that I had a big issue with the story. Because there were scenes in that movie. It was rough. But you know what? Getting back to it, before I'll let you guys get back to it, I had the big issue with it becoming so philosophical. Why are you explaining to me in the final reel about Jason, or not Jason, Michael, and the aspect of him, the more he kills, the more he transcends. We understand this already. I want to see the brutality of the film. I want to see the kills. The kills were great. I thought having Jamie Lee Curtis doing a monologue about the aspect of him transcending with all the kills, it just took me right out of it. And the silly aspect of the town going after him. The town going after him was a terrible plot device because what happened 30 seconds into him getting down, what does he do? He kills everybody. What is this? Come on.
Well, that's one of the issues that I have with the film. But to answer your question, yes, it was edited. Both films were edited by Tim Alverson.
Yeah, see that a Blumhouse editor. And that's what I think was one of the biggest issues I had with it.
Okay, now going off of what you said about the town people attacking Michael Myers. Okay, I have the same complaint in two different areas of the film. Okay. It happens first when Michael comes out of the house with the Halligan. And I'm going to say Halligan. And I'm going to say Halligan again because it irritates the shit out of me. I've seen it in magazines. I've seen in people on doing their reviews coming out. They have no idea what he's holding when he comes out of there. It's a fucking Halligan. I was reading an FHM magazine, whatever it was, a beautiful picture of James Jude Courtney that I would actually take and have him sign it. It's such a beautiful shot. He's holding it and he's saying he's holding he's killing a firefighter with a tripod. I'm like, it's not a fucking tripod. It is a Halligan. Do some research so you don't look like a fucking moron. Okay, please. Anyway, so when the firefighters come out, the first thing I noticed when he's going one at, it's like, I looked at Janelle and I'm like, why are they going one at a time?
It's like Bruce Lee.
Why are they waiting?
Exactly.
why are they? I mean, I'm sorry, but when he hit my first, especially like you have to understand, there's servicemen, there's police officers, firefighters. There's a brotherhood there. They legitimately care. I mean, these are like they spend more time with these people than they do their own families. There's reasons that they have barbecues and shit. They're a family. So when he sticks a Halligan in my dude's freaking face, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be all over his ass whether he's gonna take me out or not. And if I had that freaking saw, I'm not waiting until he's chopped off 3 of my dude's heads. And
I mean, can tell you why.
That irritated the shit out of me.
I can tell you why. It's because it won't look.
They're in shock.
No. I that's not what I'm gonna say at all.
I need a drink.
They did it, Jeremy, because Blumhouse has a certain standard of how they handle fights. Look at their fight work in the very few select films, and I'll tell you something. Watch, it's always one-on-one. You'll never see because they can't get the shot. This is more of a technical side of it. The editor obviously can't handle doing a multi-person fight scene, and they want Michael to obviously look better than he already is, and he looks fantastic coming out of that house.
Oh yeah, this is my favorite.
It's amazing.
This is my favorite on-scene Michael Myers in every film, even going back to the original. I mean, he looks. I mean, with
ferocious.
the partially crispy mask, everything.
Right.
I mean, this with James Jude Courtney. I mean,
He's
as much
great.
as I love the original, and as much as I love Dick Warlock in Part 2. This one is my favorite on-screen portrayal of Michael.
And it was basically the same
franchise.
thing at the end. It was the same thing at the end when they went one-on-one.
Right.
Exactly. That's what I said the same thing. I said, why are they going one at a time?
Yeah.
It's like, is it my turn? Okay, it's my turn. I'll wait for. I'm like,
I thought
that would not happen.
You could have cut 15 minutes out of that movie by eliminating most of the townspeople going through that hospital. All right. I'm sorry. Her
That
trying
was the
to
one
say,
scene that I could not stand. That was the one.
I mean, you sit there and you know they're trying to give you a red herring, which you already know it's not a red herring. So please stop. All right. The whole thing of them charging upstairs, you could have cut that down by 5 minutes easily. They could have went up a few flights of stairs. You could cut into a bunch of other scenes and made it look so much more appealing. And Judy Greer, the Laurie's daughter in the film, I'll tell you something. That scene just took away every bit of credibility she had. No wonder she got what she got at the end. I'm just saying. And watch, it's all a dream, folks. It's all a dream. You watch.
It better not be a dream.
You watch.
I've heard people say that this is all both movies have been in Laurie's head. And if they turn it into a Dallas episode, I'm gonna be fucking irate.
Well, it's Danny McBride. It's probably a Newhart episode.
Oh,
Well, did you guys hear about the original ending, I guess, to Halloween Kills?
Yes.
That they wanted, and then they replaced it with what we got on the screen. And if it's correct, what they were going to use, I'm kind of pissed off because that.
No, I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is right now. And David Gordon Green's already come out. He's already said it. And I got a copy of the script. I read the script. I know what it is. There's an extended ending. Okay. They cut it. Okay. It's still going to be canon. It's going to be on the Blu-ray. It's still going to be canon to the movie.
Okay.
But he said he didn't like where it left them from Halloween Kills to Halloween Ends. So they cut it. What originally the ending was supposed to be is after Michael kills Karen.
Okay.
Her phone rings. Okay. And just like it was similar to, how we saw Oscar's phone lit up and Cameron was calling him at the beginning. Okay. So Laurie is trying to call Karen. Michael sees her phone ringing or hears it and picks it up, almost like Linda after he kills Linda in Part 1.
I'm getting chills right now.
And she hears him breathing and then realizes what happens and says, Michael, I'm fucking coming for you. And then the final scene was her, and we see it in the TV spot where she's fully clothed and she has the knife in her hand in the hospital and she's walking out of the hospital that's her after she got that phone call. And that's when it cuts and Halloween Kills him. That was the original ending. That will be on the Blu-ray.
Right. But the problem with that, Jeremy, what the problem is, and I saw this today, they're talking about Halloween Ends being years after this event.
It's a 4-year jump. Yes.
4 year. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they better, because if not, Lori's going to be, she's going to have her intestines popping out of her as she's walking
Exactly.
down the hallway.
Exactly. So something's going to have to happen where either he gets, I hope to God he disappears. Something either Karen getting killed was imagined by Lori, because I can see them spinning it that way too, because it almost, the way they cut it made it look like Lori was watching it. So they could say that that was her imagining it. Okay. Or they could say she's not dead. Hey, I was the only one when everybody I talked to after 2018, I was the ones telling everybody, we don't know Hawkins is dead. And everybody was like, that motherfucker's dead. And I was like, we don't know he's dead. So when he showed up, I was like, motherfuckers, I told you. Okay. Doesn't mean that he shouldn't have been dead, but I told you we don't know he's dead. So who was right on that? Oz was. Okay. So what I'm saying is, I hope that they don't they arrested him. They put him back in the mental, and then he has to escape again.
No.
We've already seen all this bullshit.
Yeah, we saw that.
And
Okay,
why do they have to transport him always on Halloween?
No, they always
do it on
transport
4th
him.
of July.
No, it's not always on Halloween. It's always on October 30th.
Well,
Oh,
around Halloween. Do it
Right.
around.
We don't transport this motherfucker in the month of October.
Oh, God. Well, one thing I will say, Jeremy, one thing I will say, Jason, is the reason why I think more and more it's a dream, and I watched it twice before I came on here, both on Peacock. And one thing is because all of a sudden she's sitting there in the window and he just pops up out of nowhere where isn't he across town? I mean, am I wrong on that?
He was at least 2 streets over.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I'll give credit. Yeah,
and
I'll give credit. Go ahead. No, Jeremy, go ahead.
I said the same thing. I was like, how did he get back in that hospital when they, damn well they had a perimeter around that house?
Yeah, it's like, and they're tapping into the supernatural element. They did 2 things in this film I didn't like. One, they made him go beyond a human being, and they had a whole monologue for Jamie Lee Curtis to say at the end to justify this. And 2, when it comes to it, when it comes to Michael Myers, they are now, and correct me if I'm wrong, they blamed the doctor through the entire thing. It's the doctor's fault. It's not Michael's fault. What are we dealing with here? Is this the new generation of horror films where we don't blame the people who are damaged? He's killing people upon people upon people. What am I missing here?
That's pretty much how the world is now. It's never anybody's fault. We always blame somebody else because it's easier to do that than look in the freaking mirror. I mean, that is where we have become as a society.
And that's what they're trying to do while they're looking at their reflections, because they talked about that also in the film for Michael and for Laurie, because they both turn into these monsters, these damaged forms of themselves.
And that's also why I think there's so much talk about this next film. And I mean, David Gordon Green's gone on record saying that the next film is going to have so much more political input, and they're going to talk about the pandemic, and it's going to be political and all this. Why do we need politics in our fucking movies? We don't need politics in our fucking movies. I mean, we've already got people pissed off. We've got, people online asking for, please sign our
petition.
That's it. Sorry, can't think of it.
That's okay.
Sorry, right?
Take a breath.
Sign our petition to take the firefighters' deaths out of the movie. Well, nobody seemed to give a shit when he eliminated an entire police force in part 4 and 5. Okay, now we've got people. I saw it today on Facebook. Oh, now Michael's homophobic because he killed a gay couple. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh,
I mean, that's the most
cancel Michael
thing.
Myers. Cancel him.
It's the most asinine thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in with Halloween Kills. Is that what's going to finally take Michael Myers out? He's going to die of fucking COVID?
Halloween canceled. Let's change the title to Halloween canceled. Can we
Halloween
do that?
COVID.
Halloween COVID. Michael Myers was the smartest one. He stayed 6 feet away and you wore a mask. God bless him.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Social distancing champion since 1978.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Oh,
I mean, come on.
You know, Jeremy, I'm going to say this also. I have no issue with a strong female cast. I didn't have an issue with it in Halloween
I don't
2000.
have any
I thought it
problem
was
with it at
great
all.
to have the generations. I love what they did with that. I think that that Judy Greer's character at the end, I didn't like that she was she was trying to protect the mental patient, which I don't understand. Besides him hitching a ride, what his role in this was for it, I don't get what it
that whole side story I could have done without. They
you
should have
didn't
left
need it.
It was unnecessary. And I've been fighting with people on Facebook when I put in, I was like, that was the only, besides the whole, let's go at him one at a time. I was like, that's the one thing that I could have done without was the whole because it's not believable.
Yeah.
I mean, and the whole thing with Tommy saying, well, how do we know, Sheriff Brackett? How do we know? He always wore a mask. Motherfucker, he hasn't worn a mask in 40
he's
fucking
a foot
years.
shorter. He's a foot shorter than
Exactly.
He's
I was
my
like,
height.
every corrections facility has a photograph. They showed his fucking photograph on the TV. Okay. There's no way, even if they went by a physical description only, there's no way they could have mistaken that son of a bitch for Michael Myers.
I get that, dude. And
there's no way.
I think
in
that's
2018 that they didn't know what Michael Myers looked like.
Right.
There's no fucking way. Because if he had murdered 5 people in that town, you telling me they don't know what he looks like?
Jeremy, I understand exactly what you're saying. And I think one of the things that took me out of the movie on both times is the fact that when you're dealing with this chaotic crowd in the hospital, and of course, it's the stereotypical cookie cutter stuff of, well, the sheriff is overrun by the mad craze of people within the town. It turned into a Western. Even more Stetson. I mean, it turned into a freaking Western. And the crowd goes running off after Michael, and he grabs the bat from the bar. Come on, man. Why don't you just get the Naturals bat, Wonder Bat, and use that and bring in Robert Redford?
Wonder Boy. Wonder Boy.
Thank you, Wonder Boy.
That's what they need to take out Michael Myers. They need Wonder Boy.
Oh my God. Did you see? Did you see what the woman was using to use against Michael? The goddamn iron.
Don't even, you know what, Jason, don't even get me started with that. Ready? Okay. Can a cop actually shoot Michael Myers? Can anyone with a gun shoot Michael Myers except three inches close to him? That woman, the doctor, when she got out of the car, she's flaring the gun around and shooting the windows and the doors. And it's like she makes the man, she demasculates the man, which is fine. That's his character. He's playing kind of a cowardly character. She goes, oh, I've used this before. And she walks up and she doesn't, what does he do? He kicks the door and she shoots herself. It's like, holy shit, what the hell are we looking at here?
I mean, that was the oh shit moment of the movie for me. Yes.
God.
But if you want to go to that part, I'll go even a step further. She fucking falls out of the window and disappears for like 2 minutes.
I know.
Where the fuck did she go?
I don't know, dude.
She could have shot the motherfucker on top of the roof, And first of all, why would she start shooting when she's 20 feet away from it?
I know.
She should have at least walked up gangster style and fucking blasted in point blank range. Well, I mean, seriously, he just killed her fucking husband. I mean, that was fucking. Well, you know what? Another thing, I will say one missed opportunity. I was really disappointed that they didn't have more Julian in this one, because Julian kind of stole the show for me in the 2018 movie.
That's how he was.
I mean, he was only in the first half, but you know what? That kid, he fucking. I mean, and that was Danny McBride, and that was brought in. That was kind of brilliant because it fit everything. It had me. I was hysterical. That kid was hysterical. I love that kid, and I met that kid, and that kid should have been in more. Hopefully, he's going to be in maybe Halloween Ends more. He was 10 then, 4-year jump. He's going to be 14. I don't know. But that was a missed opportunity, I think.
Do you think that footage they used in Halloween Kills was from 3 years ago?
I think it was from when they dropped. I mean, when they shot originally. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe he'll have like an Avengers Endgame scene where the kid will show up on the grass, all grown up like the other one was. Because I tell you something, it wouldn't surprise me one bit. If this is, you said 4 years later, it wouldn't surprise if he shows up with a beard close to me and Jason and he goes hunting after like Tommy did. Tell me, can you cast Tommy better, please? I mean, really, can you cast Tommy better? I mean, is it just me, or did I have such an issue with his?
You know what?
I
liked Anthony Michael Hall. I've always been a fan of his.
Yeah, I'm a fan too.
And you know what? I mean, in some aspects, I liked him in this movie. Honestly, I chalk it up to the parts, the cringy, the bad dialogue that he had. I think it was the writing, really. I mean, a lot of people are saying, I've seen people today saying he needs to stop acting and everything. I don't have a problem with his acting. I've seen him acting as an adult, not just as a kid, John Hughes movies. I mean, it's been, very small things here and there, but I mean, I don't have a problem with most of his. I think it was the dialogue and the writing for the most part, the cheesy cornball lines. And I hated the term that he kept using, executed. He kept using executed. Annie was, Lindsay Wallace's babysitter Annie was executed. No, she wasn't executed. She was fucking murdered.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a difference between execution and murdered. Okay. You want to say that Michael Myers is going to be executed tonight by lynch mob justice? Okay, I can go with that one.
Right.
I can give you that one. But Annie was not executed.
Well,
Annie
I'm going to tell you, for me, looking at this film, the writing was the worst part of it. I love the music. I love what John Carpenter did. I love what Cody did. I absolutely love it. I thought it was very good. But I would love to know, John, honestly, what Carpenter felt when he had to do some of the sweeter scenes and create score for the sweeter scenes. Had to create score for the homestead, for the gay couple, for the aspect of those. I mean, there obviously you can't have just kill after kill after kill. It doesn't work that way anymore. You have to have symbolism and underlining themes, and you have to have all the story and everything with it. That's Blumhouse. That's the modern horror cinema. That's fine. But I thought overall, even with the real sweet bits, and there was a couple sweet bits, the aspect of the score and the cinematography, beautiful. I thought that's where it excelled greatly.
I agree. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
I like too the fact that I did get a couple of chuckles continuing on when I would see Cameron walking around. I kept looking at Janelle. He's still wearing that fucking dress. But you know what? I like what they did with the character because they kind of brought him full circle because they made him have to be such an asshole in the first one. But he redeemed himself. And I mean, oh my God, his death scene.
As if the first half of that death scene wasn't enough, he goes down the steps and stops halfway and then rips breaks his damn neck.
Yeah.
Well, and I hate the people that are saying, oh well, he was such a pussy, he could have fucking shot he just saw his fucking dad up in the freaking attic hanging, I mean, this is not a badass kid. I mean, this is a 17, 18-year-old kid, I mean, granted,
I will say this.
Granted, when they were in that truck,
right?
I mean, when we watched this, I think it was Saturday night with my son at home on Peacock, and he was sitting on the couch next to me, and he said, "Dad, I'm sorry, but if you told me not to come in after you, I'd say, fuck you, Dad, I'm coming after you." And I was like, "What can I say, man?"
One thing that you have to look at now is, and I'm sure this will continue with Halloween Ends, as well as we continue with a lot of the remakes, the reboots, and the polished sequels, modern day re-envisionings, is that a lot of these kills are going to be absolutely terrifying and brutal, but they're going to be beautiful. And I'll tell you, the ones, especially again going back to the firefighters, even though I agree with you about the one-on-one, and then later on with the mob, beautifully shot. And some of them, I mean, in the car with the male nurse, the knife through the eye.
God.
What a good. But then you see something like Lonnie where he walks in and he's like hanging out of the attic. Really? You went up into the attic to look for Michael Myers? I didn't think you were going to actually get that far. And what happened? Well, now, here's a question for you two guys. Here's a question. Where are all these bodies going? Because all of a sudden, none of the bodies are around when they look for them. Whose car was it? Whose car was it that they went to? Lindsay's car? Was it Lindsay?
Yeah.
Where Tommy goes there and none of the bodies are there. Where is Michael taking all these bodies?
Well, he put them on the carousel.
He put the couple on the carousel, and then he hung
I know,
Marion
with the
Chambers up
homage
on
to
the swing
Halloween
set.
3, I get that. But it seems like all the bodies are going missing. Is this part of the supernatural angle? What's going on with this?
I don't know, but I didn't take that Lonnie went into the attic looking for him. I took that once he was killed, that's where Michael kind of stuffed him.
Man, that was quick then, dude. He must have super
It
jumping
was
power.
quick, but you know what? Going back to 2018, one of my biggest things of that whole movie is why would Michael go back out and grab Ray's corpse that we see laying on the freaking grass when the lights are all illuminated and he's already in the house? Why would he go back outside the house, get Ray's body, take it back up and stuff it in the closet for Lori to find when when she comes up out of the crawl space?
Man, pure evil is well done with production design. He knows how to stage his kills. Well done.
And speaking of evil, that was one thing that bothered me was the mob and Tommy shouting "Evil dies tonight" 15,000 times during the film. I think it got old and played out.
It very well did.
Just that whole
Listen,
mob scene.
Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
Oh, I thought you had Lucille there for a minute.
Oh no. Listen, get your shows right, okay? Please.
Hey, just saying. But you know what? Honestly, though, Jason, I mean, that's kind of what when mobs get together. I mean, they freaking chant that shit 50, 20, 50 times, and I mean, they had freaking during the whole shit last year. I mean, when they had the Black Lives Matter shit, they were going up and down the streets. They were chanting their shit. I mean, I'm not to compare this. I'm going to be when a mass of people angry get together. I mean, that they chant their shit and they will continue to chant their shit. And I mean that part is annoying. Absolutely believable. Yeah, I can see it because they will keep. I mean, the only thing that surprised me is that they didn't have shit written on signs.
Well, I'll tell you what. Looking at the mob's death when they're about to destroy Michael Myers, and I sat there and I loved the flash across the face, even we don't see the result of it. But I'll tell you what, Tommy's death. Could they go any slower with him running up to him with the bat? I mean, it's like in super slow motion. He's going at him. Right. You want to do something fast. If anything we've learned, watch horror movies now. Watch zombie movies now. Train to Busan. Train to Busan is a legendary genre film. And what are they? They're fast moving. If you're going to have this mob, get them moving, man. Because if not, I don't want to see the super slow motion shit because I know that Michael Myers is going to kill them all. That's what he does. But guess what? You're making it so it's almost over dramatic. I don't need that. I love the kills, but the edit again, a big problem.
Yeah, I agree 100%. One thing I will say though, I mean, Christopher Nelson's effects.
Oh, he's amazing.
Fucking top notch, dude. I mean,
he is amazing.
People talk about Nicotero and rightfully so, but I mean, this guy.
He's the modern day Tom Savini.
Yeah,
he really is. He really is. And you know what? Having met him and talked to him, I mean, he's such a down to earth dude.
Yes, he is.
I mean, Jay, you were there. I mean, this past September. I mean, I got to see him at the after party, talk to him and stuff. I mean, he's such a humble dude. He really is.
He's a great interview. Also, he's a great interview.
He is. And you know what? I mean, and I got so much respect for that guy at age 40 because now I'm going to go off a little bit. So just bear with me here. Okay. A dear friend of mine from high school lives in Arizona, has a son who's about the same age as my oldest son. And he's on the spectrum, and they came out to age 40 for one day with us. They picked us up at the airport. We went and did scouting locations, filming locations, stuff. Went to the convention for one day. Christopher Nelson was there, and he wasn't even there as a guest. He was just there, to be part of it. He was just walking around. He didn't have a table or anything. But this kid is such a big fan of Christopher Nelson. I know he liked Christopher. And all he wanted was he had his DVD, his Avengers DVD, because he had done the the makeup for Nebula.
Right.
He wanted to meet two people at that convention. He wanted to meet Jeffrey Kramer from Jaws that he met, and I happened to spot Christopher Nelson walking around with his girlfriend just around amongst the crowd when we were there, and I kind of flagged him down and was like, "Hey, Christopher, this kid, he's a special needs kid. He's a really huge fan of yours. Would you mind just taking a picture with him?" And it would mean all the world to him. And he said, absolutely. Took a picture with him, signed his DVD. He had his Avengers DVD, signed it with him, everything. Took a picture, and it made that kid's entire weekend.
That's great story.
And what I didn't know was Christopher Nelson was part of the VIP line with David Gordon Green and amongst a few other people, the bald man from the gas station that got killed in 18, that we all got a 11x17 poster and they all signed it. And I made a point to tell Christopher Nelson how much that meant to that kid. And when I saw him at Horror Hound in March, I again told him how much that meant to him. And Christopher Nelson and Sean Clark, they have their own podcast, their Thing with Two Heads podcast. So Sean Nelson
well done.
Sean Clark sent him an 8x10 picture. They both signed it and sent it to that kid as just kind of a thanks. And I mean, he's just such a humble and cool guy. He really is. And it just meant so much to me that he did that for my friend's son. And I mean, I can't say enough about the guy. But my favorite effect from that entire movie is in that flashback scene, that bullet hole where Hawkins, which is first of all the dumbest thing in the fucking world that he would shoot. But that
was scared.
But that bullet hole, I mean, I know he's a rookie and all that shit. I'm sorry, I'd walk up and I'd fucking shoot him point blank again. But anyway, with that bullet hole wound, I mean, that looked so fucking real. With the blood pumping out of the hole in his neck. I mean,
that's not the only scene where we see excessive bleeding and stuff like that.
It's not, but it's my favorite effect of the whole movie.
Right, but you could see in the other scenes where the black woman at the beginning got the light bulb in the neck.
Oh, that was a great scene. Oh, so
don't get me started on that.
That was
the dumbest.
Jason,
the dumbest kill of the
Jeremy and Jason. Okay, I love the light. I love the fluorescent bulb. What is he doing in the bathroom?
He's jerking off. He's still a human being.
Oh God.
We see Michael walking around and killing people. He's got a shit, Well,
I'll tell you what. This is where Danny McBride comes in and ruins it for me. Because just like the sandwich scene, guess what? You had the bathroom humor this time. Give me a break. You don't need it. Please stop. Set it up a different way. I have no issue with when he went back to his house and the gay couple's there and the way they played it off. That fits because that works. That dynamic. When you go into a house with two older people and there's someone in our bathroom. And they go in there and he's literally looks like he's driving.
What does he want?
Was this like, did they cut the film? Did they say cut and they kept filming as he was cleaning himself up? Was this what James did? Is this what
I guess that was the answer to having the bandage on the 3 blown off fingers.
God.
I guess. God. I don't know. But my part was, did anybody else notice? I mean, anybody else realize? The first time when I saw that guy, I was like, that fucking dude is from Rescue Me. He was Tommy's uncle on Rescue Me.
Oh, Lord.
I loved Rescue Me. But you know what? She's like, what does he want? He wants more fucking toilet paper. Call the fucking cops.
That would have been funny.
He's asking for the dude wipes. Where are the fucking dude wipes? You fucking dumb, stupid bitch. I mean, what do you mean? What does it matter what he wants? He's fucking.
Oh God, man.
And who comes up with these ideas? Okay, well let's put her in the living room, walking around, with a drone. I mean, who comes up with this stuff?
Now, I don't know. That Danny McBride, Gordon Green, and someone else who's now writing the next batch of horror films like Firestarter.
Hey, did you guys know? Did you guys know that that scene was filmed and that's the interior of Lori's house before they burned it down? Yeah,
really?
That's actually the interior of the Lori house.
Wow, didn't know that. But I'll tell you, I agree with you.
I'll give you something else. I'll give you another clip. You know, the whole slow motion rotating, the reason that they did the killing of the townspeople the way they did.
Why?
Because David Gordon Green said they lost daylight.
Makes sense.
They lost daylight. So they had on a set, they had inside, and they had the town made up inside, right. Inside of the set. But they were like, how are we going to do this? We don't have the room. So they put Michael, it's funny because I explained this to Janelle, my girlfriend, the exact same way just a few hours ago. I said, you remember when we went to see Billy Joel and he was on that rotating thing?
Absolutely. I saw the same thing.
They put Michael on a rotating thing and had the townspeople come in and one at a time. And David Gordon Green even said, I think this is the dumbest looking thing in the world. But afterwards, when he went back to look at it afterwards, he was like, it's one of my favorite things of the whole movie.
Well, yeah. Well, then you got to give credit to the editor for making it the way it was, the cuts he did. My issue is that exactly what you brought up before, Jeremy, that it's one-on-one, and it's, you know what? We're smart enough here, whether you're a fan of this franchise or not, to say, you know what? You've got to go ahead and you've got to give us more. You got to give us more than just one. If you're going to do one-on-ones, then you do like it was in the house where he killed the boyfriend, where he killed Lonnie's son. That was my favorite kill of the entire movie. And Jason, I agree with you. Where he walks downstairs and twists his neck after he's done, he punctuates it, which is awesome.
Okay, and can we give a minute and give some kudos to Andy Matichak, because the acting that she did. I mean, her boyfriend. I mean, she's got her freaking leg is snapped in half. Okay,
that was a great snap.
She's freaking yelling at him, "Come get me, motherfucker!" And she's watching him freaking just take her boyfriend apart. I mean, granted, whatever happened between whatever, but still, she is honestly, there's, if this is not Jamie Lee Curtis passing the torch onto her as the next, and I know she probably doesn't want to be labeled as scream queen, but I gotta give her credit, man. That was such, when she screamed no and leave him alone, and from the bottom of those steps, I freaking felt it.
Well, that she forgave him for what had happened earlier in the night, because she couldn't get in the hospital. She went to hug him real quick.
She hugged him. I don't know that means that everything's okay. I think that means that they're seeing the same on that level.
Right.
But there's still, as far as a personal thing between them two, there's still going to be some things to come, whether if they were going to be able to work things out or not. Now, Michael took care of that for her, but
well, hey, it might be a dream.
I wouldn't say a dream
scene,
because
it might be.
We all know, okay, we are very simple creatures. Okay, we can say we fucked up. Okay, I'm sorry. I was whatever. Women, it's a completely different thing.
I would have
Jeremy.
I would have loved it if Michael Myers took him and pulled him out from the stairs through the railing and threw him at her. I would have fucking loved that. You want your boyfriend? Here you go.
No, I would have stood him up in front of her.
I could have seen that happening.
Yeah.
And I would have given him the stone cold stunner and then break his neck.
Gee, right.
Oh, come on. You think Michael's got nuts?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
Wolfman's got nards. Does Michael have nards? We don't know.
He was using the bathroom and he wasn't sitting down, so I would say yes.
He might have been sitting down. He may have gotten up and wiped already.
I don't know. The cut showed him washing his hands. I'm just saying.
That's what I mean. He's already wiped, so he's washing his hands. You got to remember, he's only got 3 fingers.
Hi guys, it's good to see you.
It's not easy to wipe with 3 fingers.
Well, I don't know. For me, watching the two, being there in theater for Halloween 2018 and this one, I like this one better than I liked Halloween 2018. Story wise, I give it to Halloween 2018 over Halloween Kills, but the cinematography is beautiful. I don't necessarily know if Blumhouse is the right place for this franchise, but it really doesn't matter what I say whatsoever. I think a different studio would have done this film more justice than what Blumhouse is doing. But they're filling that void. They made $50 million. You can't argue with it.
Well, the funny thing is, though, see, Blumhouse is done really good, and I think the reason why Blumhouse is stuck with this is because they've done so good at doing good horror films on such a low budget.
Right.
Do you know that David Gordon Green has that tattoo on, that Dave got in the first movie, the 10/31/18 on his shoulder?
No.
David Gordon Green got that tattoo.
Wow.
Because he made a deal with, he was having a bad day on set when they were making 2018, and he told them, he said, I'm going to be Halloween 11. 8 people are going to give a shit about this movie. Nobody's going to care. And the people told him, said, David, this is going to make $100 million. And he said, he made a bet. He told them, he said, if this movie makes $100 million, I'll get that tattoo.
Yeah.
And he's a man of his word. He said he'd never get a tattoo, but I saw it on a podcast today. He showed it. He's got the 10/31/18 that Dave has when he's pinned to the fucking wall in 2018. So, I mean, I don't know. I've always said that I don't think anybody should ever remake Christine, but now Blumhouse is saying that they're
buying all the properties up.
Oh man,
I don't know, man. I don't think that I'm sorry, but
don't piss off the fiat, okay? Don't piss off the fiat.
And he said that they're saying that Christine's going to take place in the 80s, so it's going to have to still be a 56 Fury, but I don't know how they're going to. I don't know. It's like, why reinvent the wheel?
Why have another Halloween? Because you guys sit there and you fawn over it.
Halloween's a little different. I mean, Christine, it's got to be a 56 Fury, and there's so few left. I mean, you can't trash those.
Well, you know why? Yeah, but
you can't do that movie the way Carpenter did it back in the 80s.
Jeremy, if they changed the way Michael Myers looked or made him a half a foot shorter or wasn't as brutal as he's been before, you'd have an issue with that. It's the fact of how they represent it. And you know what? It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if they stick with the classic car, but they're going to have a different origin story, just like with Stephen King's The Shining versus Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
To be fair, I mean, the only little inkling, because I love Christine. I mean, there. Okay. I love Christine. The only inkling that makes me think that this might be okay is because the movie and the book are so different.
Right.
So if they make this movie more like the book and not like Carpenter's movie, where the car was like the entity and it wasn't so much the owner. Okay. But if they're going to try to remake the 80, the Christine we already had, it's not going to go over well.
Well, we'll see.
Part of me says Bloom knows what he's doing with these movies. He makes money.
He does. So, and he eats up us talking about it, and he loves it, and he makes it for small budgets. I mean, even if how much do we know how much the budget was for Halloween Kills?
Much more than it was for.
I want to look it up because I'm curious now about it. See if they give the
budget
total.
was $20 million.
So right now they've made 30 million profit, not counting anything overseas, not counting Peacock, just box office. So whatever it does, it turns to gold.
That's twice that they doubled the budget from 2018. 2018 was $10 million.
Yeah. And I remember talking to Jason Blum about that on the red carpet, bringing up the fact that, you know, the movies that are initial investments don't go over $2 or $3 million. What is Halloween going to be like? Is it going to go over 5 million? Is it going to be 10 million? And he said that, oh, well, many of the movies are closer to a $10 million budget. I said, no, they're not. But Halloween, what is it going to be? And he goes, it's going to be somewhere around 10 million. And he did it, and they upped it, and the next one's going to even be more spectacular. What? You want to figure a $35 million budget? You want to figure somewhere around there?
For Halloween Ends,
Yeah.
35, 40. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Around the
Very
same-
well
He knows that those asses are going to be in the seats.
Yep.
Because I mean, from 2018 to 2019, even with the people who could have waited for Peacock and watched at home, people still showed up in the theaters.
Right.
I mean, so you take the $50 million that they say they made from the opening weekend, and I mean, Peacock, you can at least add another 10 million to that.
Possibly,
At least. So why not give them a $35 million budget? They don't even start shooting until January.
Just don't give me a bunch of excess, please. That's all I'm asking. Don't give me a bunch of excess. You're going to do this, and it's going to be the end, and make it the end, and make it grand. Don't make it funny in instances. Don't make them looking for toilet paper. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see shots of mobs running upstairs, constant ones they recycle. I don't want that. I want to see a film, and I know you're going to have the political messages. You're going to have the all that stuff. You know, by the end of Halloween Ends, we're going to find out that Michael Myers is actually a Democrat. Okay, we're going to find out. He's out on the mask the entire time. You know,
see, that's my only thing is that I hope they don't have me doing when. I mean, because honestly, for the longest time, I said I wasn't even going to go see the new Candyman.
Right.
I wasn't even going to go see it because the way they made it look like they were going to change the origin story of it. Now, I'm glad I was wrong, and I will be the first one to say I was wrong. I went to see it. I was wrong. I thought there was a lot of aspects that were really cool about that movie.
Right.
But when they had the whole woke and then when I blame the white people for everything, I mean, I was like, oh my God, it had me rolling my eyes in the theater the first part of that movie. I'm like, okay, all right, okay.
I get it. But they have to have something.
I hope they don't do that with Halloween Ends.
Well, maybe.
I really hope they don't.
Well,
but I have a feeling that there's going to be a part.
I read something online. It either came from Jamie Lee Curtis or Jason Blum. I don't remember who it was, but they said that a lot of fans might not like the ending of this movie. Now, what they mean by that and how we're going to feel about it, I don't know. That's just what I heard somebody on the project said.
I heard that too.
I'm going to tell you, I'd like to make a prediction. I want to make a prediction because I think in the end, because of how damaged Laurie is, and because he's such a he's transcending with all the kills, I predict that she's going to wear the mask before the end of the franchise.
Oh God! Oh,
sorry.
God, please no.
How are you going to explain the place that she's gotten to and the reason why he can't die, why he keeps killing? It's almost symbiotic.
I thought that was the most. If there was one line, and like I said, we talked about the writing and the dialogue, the lack of the dialogue in Halloween Kills. If there's one line in this entire movie that is like, and I'll go back to my favorite movie of all time. If it's like Quint scratching his nails on the chalkboard, it's Laurie saying, "Let him take my head as I take his." I'm like, oh my
is this Hamlet?
God, that's so fucking cringy. That's so bad. I mean, that's the best you could come up with? I mean, seriously. Come on.
You know, that's a question I have. And you know, I'll pose it to you guys. You tell me, what is the point of having Laurie in this movie? because Lori, other than
The
a
only
handful of
point
scenes-
in this movie,
what's the point?
the only point in this movie that would make any sense is for Lori to sacrifice herself and kill Michael at the same time to save her. Well, we don't
That's
know
out
if
the door.
Karen's dead or not, but at least she can save Allison. Okay, that's the only thing that will make any fucking sense out of all of this bullshit. I mean, that's the only thing.
Well,
I think
don't
she
know.
had about 20 minutes total of FaceTime in Holland. And I don't even think it was even 20 minutes, actually.
No, they kept cutting her in at the hospital. Same thing as
And
part 2 originally.
And another thing that I didn't like or felt it wasn't utilized, I felt the whole bracket thing being in the movie was pointless also. They didn't have a discussion with him or talk about like the past or anything with Brackett. You see him as a security officer in the hospital, and
Right.
he's not.
You could honestly, Jason, you can say that about every person with the exception of Tommy Doyle, of all the characters that they
Yep.
brought back.
They
were
brought
all
back for a bar
glorified
scene.
They were glorified cameos. That's all they were. I mean, there was nothing. I mean, honestly, I said this before. Kyle Richards, she's great to look at, but her acting is horrible. Okay, her relief. I mean, when she rolls up on those kids, she's fucking screaming at them. I mean, she's no more creepy than Michael Myers. Okay,
Well,
she's like, where are your parents? Where are
And you know what?
Like,
that's
fucking
another.
who are you,
That's
creepy
another
lady?
thing.
I
That's another thing. These abrupt scenes. For example, Tommy coming up on stage. Oh, well, he knows, was it bird calling? We're going to bring him up.
Bird
He's
whistler.
Bird whistler. What are you talking the fuck about? And then he comes up there and he's trying to be all serious. And then the kids, you know what? Those kids deserve to be carved up. Talk about two brats. Holy crap.
Well,
It's
the bird whistler thing was a freaking was a jab at his lisp.
God.
I mean, that's
It's
the only thing I can figure
terrible.
out. I mean, I don't know, but that's the only thing I can figure. I mean, he was making fun of his lisp or something. That he
Yeah,
has.
but it's a
I don't know.
terrible way. It's
Yeah,
so
I agree.
unbalanced.
I agree 100%.
And another question is, did anybody from Haddonfield from 40 years ago, did they grow up and make something of themselves, or are they just still in Haddonfield going to Mix Bar every night?
No, they all show up. They all have their tears in their beers.
Oh God,
They don't go out of their house.
Oh God,
it.
you're right. You're right.
And that's the thing. That's the thing with Tommy telling that story. Hey, does anybody know about the story of the 40-year-old?
Everyone.
Yeah, we know. Everybody knows.
Haddonfield boogeyman. No, we've never heard this fucking story, you dumb shit. What the
Oh
fuck?
my God. Wow.
It's filler. It was
That's
filler
why
for the
it's so
movie. That's all it
easy.
was.
That's why it's so
But-
easy to say that the writing on 2018 was just so much better than.
It really
Well,
was so much better.
That's why I say it's so easy to see how Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018 were originally one film. And then
Was
they
it?
separated. Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, David
It would have worked so much
Ja-
better. It would have worked
Well,
so
David
much
Gordon
better.
Green, he said that himself. He said that's, and then it got into too much of it, so they decided to separate it.
Oh Lord. Wow, anything to make more money. That's what I did.
Anything to make,
Cash grab.
to make 3 movies instead of 2.
I agree with you. Wholeheartedly. I agree
Telling
with
you
you.
right there. Yeah.
Why do we have 2 Avengers movies? Why we have Infinity War and Endgame? To make more money.
Well, because we got to save some. We got to. Hey, this is good, but hey, we got to save a little something so we can make another movie, so we can make us some more money.
Man.
Here's a question. After Halloween ends, all right, that'll be the end of it, supposedly.
No.
No.
Until
It won't be the
somebody
end of it.
else,
It won't be the
until
end of it.
somebody else
I
comes
just
up
hope-
with an idea. What would you like to see after Halloween ends? Like maybe a Dr. Loomis type story or something?
I don't know if you could do anything with any of the other characters. I mean, they had to deep face Dr. Loomis, You know, I saw the practical effects thing they went through with the actor.
I think what they did in Halloween Kills for Dr. Loomis was about as good as you can do. I mean, I think that's about as best as you can do, because you know what? They got a guy who looked similar to him.
Right.
They did not do the whole Rogue One where it was CGI and it looked fake, because I fucking hate that. I am so much more on board with a lookalike with some makeup to pay some homage, even though it's not obviously Donald Pleasence. You can't do something that is an entire feature. They could do that because it was only a little piece of this film.
Right.
They can't do something that's going to feature that character, because nobody else can be,
unless you use a young Loomis.
Yeah, and unless you want to go to a Loomis who is still being educated and he's still learning about prior to Michael Myers.
But
that's the only way it will work, because
Jeremy,
nobody else can be Donald Pleasence.
Jeremy, but here's the thing, though.
That is you're gonna miss on all points.
Here's the problem with that, though, and this is the problem with the Rob Zombie versions of Halloween, is the fact that they don't want the fans, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, we don't want to know the backstory on Michael Myers. We don't want to know the backstories on all of it. Halloween, Michael Myers is evil incarnate. That's all he is.
I have said that from day one. It's more scary when there is no explanation.
Right.
I don't want to hear that Michael Myers was a poor white trash kid that had a shitty stepdad figure.
Well, that's Rob Zombie.
Was bullied and all this other bullshit, and that's why he became what he became. That to me, I mean, aside from the fact that I can stomach the first Rob Zombie movie, the second Rob Zombie movie,
I hate.
I hate the worst in the franchise.
I hate it, but honestly, in recent years, I've been able to watch it more. I still roll my eyes with the white horse bullshit, and every time I see Sherry, I'm like, because he's got to figure out a way to bring his wife into every fucking movie.
Yep.
Okay, we understand, dude. We understand, Rob, that your wife has a nice ass. Okay?
She's in the Monsters.
Wife's good looking.
Yep.
Okay, she's not that good an actress. She was okay. She did all right as the white trash mom in Ron Zombie's Halloween 1, but to throw her in there with the fucking horse, I mean, unless you're going to throw some bestiality in there, I don't understand why she's in Rob Zombie's Part 2. I really don't. But she's not that good an actress. She's really not. Okay. But the thing I will say about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 that I can respect is the mental aspect and the performance that Scout Taylor Compton provides, in the trauma that she's going mentally. And Danielle Harris, I think that's probably her best performance I've ever seen in every movie I've ever seen her in, is probably Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Those two, I can, and that, and with Brackett, with the death of his daughter, I mean, that kind of gets me for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That's the only way I can stomach, and the only thing I can say about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. The rest, it's total shit.
Well, I will say this. Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, I try to watch it every 2 years or so. Just put it on. But I find myself falling asleep like in 15 minutes. I just can't do it. It's like me putting in Jason X or Jason Goes to Hell. I can't watch it. I can't watch them anymore.
Jason X. Well,
or Halloween Resurrection after 10 minutes.
I'll say this, because I got to jump off shortly. But you know what, guys? Halloween Kills could have been far worse. I expected much worse than what I saw. I had trouble with the dialogue, I had trouble with the writing, but I'll tell you what, it was a beautiful film. Lots of great kills. Christopher Nelson, hats off on the work that him and his team did. And I'll tell you what, James Jude Courtney,
100%.
Wonderful. He's a wonderful Michael Myers.
James Jude Courtney is the fucking shape incarnate. I mean,
he is great. Yeah,
Is
he
he
is great.
having so much fun with the fans or what?
Oh,
He's
loves
He
loving
is,
it.
dude. He is. And you know what? I'll tell you right now because I was there. I didn't say CJ at the after party at Halloween at Horror Hound.
I was in the film festival.
Well, yeah, you were probably fucking taking a nap. I'm talking about Ashton screenings. You were probably taking a freaking nap. And then, but I'll tell you what, James Hugh Courtney, I tell you what, I went to the after hours party on Saturday. Freaking Nick Castle was there. Chris Nelson was there. Sean Clark was there. I mean, James Hugh Courtney was there. Tom Morgan was there. Every fucking Michael Myers that you could see, you wouldn't want to see, was there. Except Dick Warlock wasn't there. But I mean,
Tyler Maine too.
Tyler Maine, yeah, Tyler Maine's cool. I mean, I'll see him this weekend. Tyler Maine, he was a badass.
He's a great one.
He was a great Michael Myers, but I mean, he was limited to what story he was, you know. But you know what? I'm gonna tell you right now, James Hugh Courtney he is such a special freaking dude, man. He really, really is. And anybody out there, if he's coming to your town for any kind of convention or anything like that, you are doing yourself a disservice by not. If you're a Halloween fan, you've got to meet this guy. He is, and not only is he making Michael Myers his own, but he embraces and acknowledges and respects the homage of John Carpenter and Nick Castle and everybody who's come before him. I mean, the guy is just such a great guy. So he's worth it. Go out, meet him. I mean, I don't have a negative thing I can say about the guy. I really don't.
Well, guys, this has been great. Thank you for the cathartic session.
Jay, before you head out,
yeah, dude.
Jeremy and I were talking about the other inmate that was in the movie that they thought was Michael Myers.
Right.
I'm not sure if you heard, but his name
passed
is
away in May.
Ross Bacon, and he was 78 years old. He passed away in May of this year from lung cancer. You believe that?
Oh man, at least he got a last hurrah with the film, man. You know, I mean, he's running around like a maniac through that film, or he's hobbling around like a maniac through that film. So,
hey, he got the joyride of Mercedes before he went, at least.
Dude, nothing wrong with that. God bless the fact that he got the dirt, man.
Or if you've seen the TikTok videos, the Mercadis, the chick who went and bought, she thought it was called a Mercadis.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh,
man, how can you? It's like, yeah, it's a Mercadis. Jesus.
Oh, God. Well,
anyway,
thank you so much.
But anyway, hey, before he goes, hey guys, everybody out there listening, Jay is an excellent writer. Horror Hound magazine.
Horror Hound.
He writes every once in a while. You might see something of mine, but not very often. But every single issue that comes out, you'll see something of Jay's. I promise you.
Yeah,
he also does an excellent job with the film festival. He does that for each one of our shows, and we can't thank him enough for that. So check out Horror Hound magazine. Online.
Yeah, man. And I'll tell you something real quick. Coming up issue 92. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff. It's as far as I know, it's supposed to be themed as a slasher issue, and I'm going to be working on a piece about You're Next. So another modern slasher, well, home invasion, but there's some great work coming out for Horror Hound in the next couple issues. So check it out. You won't be sorry.
Wait, are they coming out with another You're Next?
No, looking at a retrospective piece on it.
Okay.
You could not make a sequel to that film, Jason. You could not. You kidding me? Even though they tried to, you could not. So
yeah, they did. Hey, and every once in a while you might see something of mine. I think I did a Wrong Turn review, and then the Tremors retrospective I did do for Horror Hound. They don't let me write very often because I don't know.
You know what? I want to see more of you in there. We'll talk to Nathan about it.
I do too. Talk to Nathan. I'm not such a bad guy.
I know you're not. Bye, guys.
See ya.
All right, man.
Pleasant
Take it easy.
nightmares.
Hey, check it out. Postmortem Radio. Hey, don't forget to go to theshapelurks.com on Facebook. You'll see Jason link there. Peace.
Thanks.
That was fucking fun, dude.
Yeah, it was.
That was fucking fun. We got to do that. You know what? Because I knew it was going to take longer than 40 minutes. We were limited to 40 minutes. I had to subscribe and I had to pay $15 a month for Zoom to go on. So to be able to do a longer episode.
Yeah.
So this has to be, we got to do this more often, man.
Yeah. It was.
So we'll have to have you on whenever you're available. Let me know when we'll have you on.
That was.
And, I want to start doing this more. You know, at least once at the very least once a month, if not twice a month, every 2 weeks, man. I'd like to do an episode.
Yeah, I was going to
Put
do.
it
I
out there
was
on
going to do.
Facebook.
I
Or
was
on
going to do my video,
YouTube.
my review on Halloween Kills and put it on Shape Lurks, but we'll just put this video in the. I'll share your YouTube link and put it in the Shape Lurks.
Okay, I'll get started on try to get this edited together, and I don't think there's a whole lot that I'm gonna have to edit.
No,
Maybe
it
a little
was.
bit at the beginning, and then cut out like right now until we kill this thing.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, I'll just put the whole fucking thing out there. I don't give a shit. Even
Yeah,
when I
it-
fucked up at the beginning and couldn't remember what the hell I was the word I was trying to think of, which was the hell was the word I was trying to think of again?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But the cool thing about this stuff, like right now, is that like at least with Postmortem Radio and what was the Friday the 13th? Camp Blood. What we used to do was we would throw some like outtakes
Outtakes.
at the
bloopers.
end of some bloopers and type stuff. So once I figure out, you see, with the video, I've got music, but I don't have any like video stuff to like start it off and anything. I'll have to work on that. But we can always throw in, and I know that Sean does that with his podcast with Christopher Nelson, the thing with two heads. He'll throw a little like outtake at the end after the credits and all that stuff roll. At the end, which is kind of cool.
Are they on YouTube or?
Yeah, they're on YouTube. Yeah, you'll find it if you subscribe to Sean's YouTube channel, which is Malfunk Sean.
Yeah,
which is kind of clever.
Yeah.
But his are all uploaded off of his channel, which is the same one. So you'll also see any new Horrors Hallowed Grounds, which he just did a Halloween Kills Horrors Hallowed Grounds set where he went to all the filming locations, because Laurie's house is completely gone. They did burn that down because it was condemned and they were going to have to tear it down eventually. So they legitimately burned it down.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Because I'm going to North Carolina in next month, and was talking to Janelle about possibly going to, but it's gone now. So, and they're filming Halloween Ends in Georgia, not South Carolina now. They're going to be filming it in.
Well, I thought they made South Carolina look like a nice Haddonfield.
They did. They absolutely did. Especially the alley at the beginning with the 78 flashback.
The flashback.
That looked so much like the alley. From Halloween 2.
Yes.
And that's the other thing that I meant to bring up on the, while we were talking about it, was as much as they wanted to retcon Halloween 2, they still showed footage on Halloween Kills from Halloween 2 that, where Brackett sees Annie on the stretcher and all that shit. That was all Halloween 2. That should have never happened. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. So that right there might be our blooper for this episode. Right there after the credits. So we'll see. But anyway, I don't think I have a whole lot of editing to do. So hopefully I'll be able to get this up and put it on Facebook by, I would say it's Wednesday, Friday at the latest. Hopefully I can get it done and put it up tomorrow. I mean, I gotta work tomorrow, but if I can
Take your time.
do it, and then Friday morning we're flying out to Spooky. So my goal is to get this up Friday morning, and then I'll send you the link, and then you can share it on the shapeworks.com.
All right, man.
So sounds good to me, man.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks so much for being a part of it, man.
No problem. It was fun.
All right. Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.